Hello everyone, this is David at Grow and Eat This. It's April 3rd, that's a Friday here, northeast of Atlanta, and it's going to be up into the 70s, which is really weird because it was like high 30s in the morning yesterday. But we're supposed to be warm for like the next week, so I've got a lot of repotting to do. And to do that, I need to mix up a batch of what I like to use for potting soil. And we're going to start out here in my compost. That's my first ingredient, compost. Got to be sifted because it's still got lots of pieces in it. But this is where we start. It gets all the yard scraps, it gets the lawnmower grass, it gets wood chips, eggshells, everything out of the kitchen. A lot of the kitchen scraps get fed to the worms, but what doesn't ends up out here. What's left gets tossed over to the next bin. We continue decomposing, and we'll move on to some more dirt. I keep 3 bins going, one starting, one working hard, and one that's close enough to finish that I'm using it. This is the finished one, and it's just, if only you could smell it. So, my potting soil for plants coming out, going into pots right before they go in the ground is, I guess, you know, reality is it's a little better than a third compost. Then I'm going to add some potting soil that I buy. I get some organic potting soil, it has some manures and stuff in it. I don't have access to any animal manure, which is really a shame. So I have to buy some compost or manure to add to it. And then, because I need it to be really light, we'll add a lot of perlite. So let's see how much we got here. Alright. So you can see there's a good bit there. You can get perlite in these monster things at Home Depot. So I'm going to add some perlite. Wind's blowing the other direction, thankfully. Use the shovel to mix this in and knock the dust down. That's pretty good. Oh, then I have this organic planting soil I get at Costco. You can use Miracle-Gro, whatever it is you can find. This stuff is pretty good, and amazingly, when you make a pile of it, it heats up. So it's got enough stuff in it, it actually heats up as a compost. We're going to add a bunch of this. But as you can see, this is pretty heavy. And that's why I've got the perlite. This is really a lot heavier than I want, because it really means if it's heavy, it's going to hold water. Just about everything wants water, but it wants it to drain. Almost nothing in our gardens these days is a bog plant. So you want to get the water, but they want it to go away quickly. So this is kind of like half compost, half potting soil or potting mix. with a whole bunch of perlite added to it. That's looking pretty good. Then you want to add some lime, or in my case here, I'm adding some ground up oyster shell. Gives me a lot of calcium and magnesium and whatever else you would find in oyster shells out of the ocean. Then I'm going to add some Epsom salts. Purely optional. Seems like it helps. Then we're going to mix this up. You want to get those additives mixed in so they're all over the place, mixed in with everything, because everybody needs some of the pH and the minerals they'll get from the oyster shell. Magnesium does seem to help a lot with keeping the leaves nice and green. And the perlite makes it light. So, there's a batch of potting soil, potting mix, ready to go. Not too hard to do. And I'll mix this 2 or 3 times during the day as I see how much I need. So now we'll start moving over to repotting things. That's going to be a separate video. I want to tell you I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, and if you've got other favorite things you would add to this, please stick them down in the comments. These days, anything helps us grow more food is important. So thank you for watching.